Cyrenians, confusingly, even though there's other Cyrenians in the UK, but because we now operate in more than one local authority, 6 local authorities in the northeast, we work with the homeless and people, socially excluded people, quite a variety, people with drug and alcohol problems, ex and current sex workers, things like that. And over the years the charity has changed from basically providing emergency accommodation to also providing training initiatives and employment. One third of the charity's staff base is now ex-service users of the organization, and I don't think anyone else does that in the country. And one of the projects of the organization is a horticultural project where I currently work. My role within the organization previously to that was to look at how we can make it more environmentally sustainable, introduce energy efficiency measures, recycling, sustainable transport, cycling, stuff like that. And one of the initiatives was to set up this organic gardening project, which although is not certified by any of the bodies, we don't use any chemicals, pesticides, herbicides. The reason we're not certified is because all the paperwork that goes with it is a bit of an overkill for the size we operate in. We do have 2 quite large polytunnels, probably a bit smaller than the ones in Cat, and we have a greenhouse which more recently has benefited from connection to a combined heat and power installation which provides electricity and heat to the hostel where we're based, which is our largest hostel in Newcastle with about 40 residents. The CHP works on natural gas, unfortunately fossil fuel, but there's a possibility in the future if we have a large anaerobic digestion system to convert that to run on biogas. We're CCN members, mostly for the composting side of things, like-minded people and exciting stuff like that. We do your general side composting, like open heap composting, and then with the traditional composting heap most of you do. And we also, more recently, we have started using these things, yeah, which are very well insulated composters, which you can buy off the shelf from a company called, the manufacturer's called Jora, I think, but there's a company in the UK which imports them. There's the Swedish, made in China, which is terrible for the environment, but you can make the equivalent yourself. It just got polypropylene insulation on the inside, and the idea is that because it's got hexagonal shape, it can rotate, and the food waste gets mixed well. You need to mix things like carbon materials together with your kitchen waste. Things like we use chopped straw, but you can also use wood chips. And the idea is that it's the only low-tech solution which one of which is ABPR compliant because of the insulation, but I'm sure quite a few of the other ones will do that. So we do compost things like cooked food in there, as well as garden waste. So our interest in the microAD project was to look at another way to produce nutrient for our growing project, and to also experiment with keeping one of the polytunnels heated up in the winter from the gas which is generated by the microAD. But because it's the first test build, there's going to be loads of learning as part of the project in terms of health and safety, the actual ratios of feeding a digester and things like that. The build is probably going to happen in the early autumn, September, October, and we're looking for people to come up and help with that as well. That's pretty much everything. Happy to answer any questions.
So we've got a